Ngoc Do is with us here on the Oakland County Megacast today. She is with Vibe Credit Union. You are the Community Engagement Specialist. What does that job entail?
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm honored to be a community engagement specialist for Vibe Credit Union. Ironically, the seminar or the virtual event is called Vibe as well, so that's kind of nice. We're synonymous with the chamber, and we love working with the chamber and helping get our message out to help as many people as possible. So my role is really speaks for itself. I'm engaging with the community and helping educate and inform and to sponsor events to help support, whether it be financial support or volunteer hours or whatever they may need um, to run their event. There's so many worthy causes in our area and that we would just love to be a part of. And so I have the honor of doing that for my company.
Before we get into some of the causes that Vibe Credit Union has helped support through the years, can you talk a little bit about the financial stability of people and their businesses right now during the middle of a pandemic? How can they maintain their credit score and their financial stability when maybe they lost a job? Is it one of those things? Can they go in to the credit union and try to directly communicate with someone within your business about how to maintain a good look on that credit? Or is this also a time where so many companies or business entities are offering a little bit of grace because so many people are suffering during the pandemic?
Absolutely, great questions, and yes to both. As it all happened at the beginning of this year, we were prepared to address our members' needs on a case by case basis, giving much consideration and leniency as possible to their financial hardship. We all have different situations, whether it be work or personal life. And so we definitely want to be able to help our members who were negatively impacted by the quarantine, by not being able to go to work and provide for their families on like they were used to doing. So we were able to help so many people during this time that it not only gives us really good feeling, but it also is financially, we are being financially responsible and trying to help our members. And luckily, we haven't seen too many of our members be in such a detriment. And being a multi-million-dollar company that we are, we actually merged with Oakland County Credit Union recently. And so we have a very strong foundation. We are a $1 billion credit union, 16 branches in Michigan. And so we have that financial foundation to be able to help our members. And yes, our members are encouraged to come in and speak to us if that's something that we can help with. Now, your credit score, is impacted by everything you do, whether there's a pandemic or not. And so we work with also other organizations outside of Vibe to help those who might need to improve their credit score. And Green Path is one of those local organizations we've worked with for multiple years in helping our members get back on the right track. So we have not only, can we help them, but we have other resources as well.
Just going back to the basics, can you offer advice as to when an individual should decide to go with a credit union versus a regular mainstream bank?
I am from this old school that please take advantage of everything that's made available to you. So whether or not you decide to have just a credit union account or just a mainstay banking institution or both, take advantage of everything that they individually have to offer you. So we definitely are different from, let's say, a bank, traditional bank. And coming from that workforce and coming from that industry, I can definitely see where there may be some advantages to being with one or the other. But there's no rule that you can't have both. And so being from a credit union, being working with a credit union and really getting to know the philosophy behind credit union, I can definitely say that I would never go back to a bank. But that's not to say that, you know, that might not be good for someone else. So being a nonprofit entity that we are, I think that makes a huge impact on how I do business, not only as a representative of my credit union, but as an individual and as a consumer. So it makes me feel good that that my credit union is actually looking out for me and not looking out for the bottom line necessarily all the time.
With that in consideration, Ngoc Do with us, community engagement specialist at Vibe Credit Union. Right now, so many companies and individuals alike are trying to navigate the financial toll of the pandemic, especially on the small business end. What advice, as you're going out into the community, are these businesses seeking from institutions like yours at Vibe Credit Union, and what advice are you giving them to help them navigate this as this pandemic seemingly goes on and on and on, and as that is the case, takes a greater toll over time on these small businesses' bottom lines?
Right. So definitely this is unprecedented times that we are in, and I don't believe that I personally or anyone else I know has ever had to experience anything like this. From a business standpoint, so I mean, I don't work directly with my members as being in a community engagement specialist. I don't firsthand don't know what they're experiencing. But I always recommend to go and speak to your representative from your financial institution, because they may have programs that that may benefit you, but you wouldn't know unless it was advertised or unless you found out from your representative. So I definitely recommend speaking to a trusted representative. Also, your accountant, tax expert, anyone in your life that you feel their expertise would be able to help you. I definitely, I know it's, again, everyone's going through a very similar situation in these times. And so I'm sure they have seen it all or have heard more than one might think. So I definitely recommend speaking to all those resources and that are available to you, and find out what you can do and what's out there available. There's so many grants also I've heard offered through the state and through local chambers. And so again, it's just a matter of research and reaching out and asking those kinds of questions.
Vibe Credit Union has been a big supporter of so many different organizations here in the greater West Bloomfield area. The need is so great right now. How do you pick and choose which organizations, which events you support?
That is a tough question because there's so many out there. We tend to support those who really could use our help, and we try to diversify those needs. So we don't want to always help the same causes in the same industry, because we want to be able to help as many people as possible in many venues. So for example, we supported the Oakland County Sheriff's Department by donating PPE items to the first responders. We donated hand sanitizer to the Salvation Army. Recently, we also went back to Salvation Army to donate cider donuts from local orchards to their food pantries, because again, families are being impacted by this pandemic, and so they have food pantries open on certain days. And so we felt it would be just a little nice pick-me-up to donate to that. We also donate to lots of causes such as Lighthouse. I believe they also help, households like domestic household victims, West Bloomfield Parks and Rec, Canton Libraries, Southfield Chamber of Commerce. We have 16 branches in Oakland and Macomb counties, and so we're able to spread out a little bit and diversify our support to all of those areas. So it's been a pleasure. Like today, this afternoon, I'll be attending the Canton Parks and Rec trick or treat event. It's going to be kind of fun to. It's called Treats in Your Trunk, and instead of the conventional trick or treat where the kids come in to businesses, the businesses are coming to them during a parade type format in a parking lot of a church in Canton. And so it'll be kind of fun to be able to give to the children who are, again, are going through this pandemic just as much as the adults are. And we want to give them a little bit of a sense of normalcy if we can. So yes, lots of different events that we can support. We're just all about reaching out to the community. And then, financial education is also really important. And we can't let that go to the wayside just because there's a pandemic. So we go to speak to schools and companies about savings and budgets and things like that.
I think it's great that you do that, because I'm like, they need to bring back home ec, shop, and then they need to, try to come up with a program about financial responsibility. Because think about it, if the kids are educated, like if you're in high school and you start a savings plan from, mowing lawns or something like that, you start that when you're in high school, you could be set for, by the time you go to retire, and it just grew out of what you did in high school. So I think financial education is so important, and I wish so many of our school districts would take that on, as well as home ec. But guys need to go to home ec, and women need to take shop. We don't want to separate it anymore.
We don't need to do everything.
Right?
And it's so great. Thank you for mentioning the schools, because we do collaborate with multiple school districts in speaking to their juniors and seniors about credit score. Because although they have parents, I'm sure, that are financially responsible, why not also commission your local financial institution or credit union to be able to help you learn more about what your credit score is, what a report looks like, pitfalls to avoid. How many times have we heard where, a young college student gets in a credit card trouble, maxing out their credit cards because they don't know how it works, and that it's not a free-for-all credit card, and that there's nobody has to pay for it. Guess what? Somebody ends up having to pay for it. And so
I think we kind of lost you for just a second. Let's see if we can get.
Sorry,
There you go. You're back.
What
But touching on that, that's a great thing. I remember speaking with a dad in Detroit, and he was like, I wish someone would have taught me about the importance of a credit score back when I was young. And he was trying to make sure that his kids understood it and why it's so important. Because is it still so easy for some of these college kids to get credit cards?
I'm sure, they send to you in the mail, we go shopping and they entice you with a discount to sign up right there and then. So, they're just doing their job. I get it. But at the same time, those youngsters are not equipped to know the they don't have the information enough to know how that works. And once you sign up, that's it, and it's going to impact you going forward. So, and that's why we reach out to the schools and speak to the juniors and seniors before they graduate to help them be prepared for that. And also we have scholarships for the graduating seniors too. So it's kind of nice to reward them for all their hard work as well before they go off to college.
Ngoc Do with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. She's the Community Engagement Specialist with Vibe Credit Union, joining us today on the program. And Ngoc, on that note also, as you're talking to these students about maintaining a credit score, obtaining a credit card, being financially literate, how much of that goes into being vigilant about their credit? Because it's so easy for a young person to take their eye off the ball for a little bit, and then especially in today's world where there's so much more technology out there, and young people are accessing that technology. It's a lot easier for their information to get out there and for people to use it for malicious purposes, which could affect their credit score. How much of that is being discussed at the school level, or really on the community level as well, in the days that we're living in today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and it impacts not only just those youngsters, it impacts, middle generation and then the older generation. So there's always groups that are susceptible to being targeted by these companies.
Can you bring up that video that...
Sorry about that. We have a just a technical issue there. It looks like our next guest connecting in. We'll see. Is he still there? No, I believe you're good.
Yeah, so I was just saying how, so many different age groups can be susceptible to malicious intent to defraud them. So, we have seminars, not only for credit score for juniors and seniors, but we also have fraud and ID theft educational seminars to help teach people about, again, pitfalls of those things and how to potentially avoid it, and also what to do if that were to happen to you. So I collaborate with local police stations to hold these seminars because they are also involved. Once you are, if you're a victim of ID theft, someone steals your ID, and that becomes a federal offense. And so the police are involved, the FBI could also be involved. So I'm very fortunate to have those kinds of contacts to be able to help, again, provide that information to our community to help protect them. So yes, again, resources that you don't know or even are there available to you. And they're free because we want to help people. So again, check with your financial institution or your credit union, or come see me, because that's absolutely what I love to do.
And that's great that you do that, because some of these people that go through ID theft, it can be a nightmare to dig your way back out from under that type of situation, and even just restoring your credit after you've been the victim of identity theft. And so can you tell our listeners and viewers quickly, how can they access some of that information or tips just so that they can be informed and be educated so that they can try to avoid the traps of some of these scammers? Because online scams are up right now with so many people now using the internet for their day-to-day lives.
Absolutely, and I apologize. I'm just gonna jump over to my sent box here, and because I did send a couple of slides to a couple of people this week in that exact regard. The credit bureaus, there's 3 that are there to, again, hold your information. But they're definitely there available to you as well for you to check on. As a consumer, you have the right to check on your credit report, 1 free credit report a year per bureau. So I was just going to try to pull that up real quick and see if I can't give you the phone numbers or the websites. Oh my gosh, I don't remember who I sent it to the other day. Wait, did I send it to Jake? Yes, I did. Here it is.
Just due to how our studio is set up here, we're not able to kind of pull that up. So if you have it in front of you, do you want to just quickly kind of get that information out to our listeners and our viewers?
Yep. So, the credit. Oh, of course, that wasn't the one.
I know it's always like this when we're trying to look for something. My email is so jam-packed. You're like, okay, I know I saw that email somewhere. Where is it right now? Do you list that information on your website at all?
It is not, because our website, we can only hold so much information on our website, and credit bureau information is not something that, is on the top of everyone's minds necessarily. But I was just going to pull it up. Oh my gosh, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If you don't have it handy, that's okay. We can try to maybe get it a little bit later and try to post it on our website as well, or maybe share that information with everyone as well, because I will say it definitely has been a nightmare for so many people that have gone through like an identity theft crisis. And with the, are you seeing more and more victims of identity theft as so many people have been going online, or has it remained somewhat steady for the people within your members within the credit union?
I say that there's a huge increase. I would say across the board. It's an unfortunate thing, right? When people become a victim of something, but again, providing as much information to them as possible will help mitigate that. So the three credit bureaus, everyone as a consumer has the right to contact them. Their contact information is available online. It's TransUnion, Equifax, and I'm blanking out of the third one, but they're all available with 800 numbers and on their website to inquire about your credit report. And also, talking about ID theft through the government, there's a website called the Federal Trade Commission, and they actually provide great information on identity theft itself. So I use their brochures in speaking at my seminars to our consumers to help, again, navigate that area if they were unfortunately a victim, or to avoid being a victim. So their website is identitytheft.gov. So it's a government website, and it talks to them about, so here are the three credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So again, it tells you step by step through the Federal Trade Commission on what to do if you are a victim, and then the three credit bureaus are right there. So Experian is 888-Experian, TransUnion is 888-909-8872, and Equifax is 800-685-1111.
I would imagine if anyone believes they become a victim, the best thing they can do is to reach out and communicate with their financial institution, such as Vibe Credit Union. Quickly, before we let you go, just another minute or two, anything that you want to talk about with some of the events that you're coming up, or if I'm an organization, a nonprofit organization here in the greater West Bloomfield area, I want to reach out to you and maybe let you know about an event that an individual has coming up, or an organization, and they're looking for your support, how could they contact you, or what are the steps that you look for and the criteria that you're looking for?
Great, thank you. That's a great question. Yeah, so vibecreditunion.com, and under the contact tab, I believe towards the bottom, it talks about, actually it's vibecreditunion.com, and then the menu tab. It talks about, there's a couple tabs under About Us, and then there's Sponsorship and Donation Requests tab. So when you click on that, then you have an opportunity to tell us a little bit about your cause, and then we can review it and take a look to see if it's within our budget for the year, and if it's within our footprint of our branches, because we definitely want to be within demographic range of the event. Oakland County, Macomb County is where we're located. And so when you submit that donation request or sponsorship request, our marketing team has an opportunity to review it and see if we're able to help provide support.
Well, thank you for providing support to so many organizations and great events here throughout the greater West Bloomfield area. We appreciate it so much. And thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate all that you do.